Hello all you summoners, this is my first tutorial video. I welcome you all to come learn along with me. First, we're going to start off by movement. This is going to be a very basic video, part 1 of I don't know how many. But use your right click on your mouse to move around, just like that. The other button will be used for mainly pings, which we'll get into later. Next, you'll probably want to know how to use abilities. Your abilities are down here. Q, W, E, R. These are your summoner spells that you'll get to pick later on. I'll explain those in a different video. Now, whenever you first start off, you're going to see these little arrows. That's to choose your ability. Once you choose it, it becomes available. To the left of that will be your passive. Every champion will have a certain passive. In order to read the abilities, you just mouse over them and I'll explain them. Every time you level up, you'll get a new ability for most champions. Whenever you do, you'll have that little arrow above them again and you can just level them up. As they level up, their duration will change. Let me show you. So, I got some new abilities. So now I can pick up this one. Alright. So, you can't pick two abilities back to back. So let's say I hit level 3. I can get this now. Now whenever you mouse over the arrow this time, it'll explain what it does to increase. So, for example, this would increase the damage, the slow, and the cooldown there at the bottom. Okay, so next, once you get the hang of moving around and, using your abilities, you may be wondering, well, what if I don't like the setup or something with the movement is messed up, I need to change, make it settings. Simple with most other games. Press escape, menus come up, change them as you need them, easy peasy. There's the X game button. In case you're losing, there's surrender button. You got restore default here, okay, and cancel. Okay, so whenever you're in the game, you may be wondering, what's this over here? You didn't get to explain that yet. Well, these are your stats. You got your attack damage here. Basically, auto attacks, it'll explain it. Attack damage increase the amount of damage you do with basic attacks. This is damage you deal with abilities. Now, some abilities are increased by attack damage, and whenever you see them, they'll be highlighted over here. And I'll explain all that in a different video for itemization. Down here is armor. Reduce the damage you take from physical attacks. Magic resistance. Reduce the damage you take from magical attacks. Attack speed. Cooldown reduction. Cooldown can only be a max of 40%, not including summoner spells. Attack speed can only go up to 2.5, so you can only have 2.5 attacks per second. That can also be changed through summoner spells. This is critical strike. As it says, the base critical strike damage bonus is 200%. How you get that up? It can only go up to 100%, because once you have 100%, you'll be critting every time. This is movement. Movement can get a little crazy. This is the base movement. There's boots in the game that you can buy to increase this. Alright, moving over. So that was your champion info. Now this is a runes panel. Runes I'll also go in a different video, but this is where you can find it at. For example, Grasp of the Undying, it'll explain what it does. If I had hit a champion with it, you would see a 5 there for the increased health. That's nothing. That's your level. And that's your experience bar. Over here, we have where you would put your items. That will always be a trinket slot number 4, unless you change it in the menu. That's your back button, and also you can press B. This is your gold. You get about 1 a second. It goes along with the time. You can press it to open up the shop, but you can only buy whenever you're in the fountain area. There's your health, your green bar. And I'm going to say this is the resource bar, because not everybody has mana like Rammus does. Right, over here you'll see your team kills, enemy team kills, what your kill, deaths, and assists are, your minion kills, and the clock. Over on the left here, this is just in the practice tool. You won't have this in a normal game. Okay, warning. You won't have this in the normal game, so I'm just using this to help us along a little bit. Okay, let's look at the shop. Once you got the basics down, you want to make your character stronger if you have any gold. So whenever you start off, you'll have a little bit of gold, not a lot. This is the recommended page. Recommended page will kind of give you an idea of what you want. Rammus himself is a tank, so he wants normally armor, some magic resist, things that help him keep people on him the best of his ability while also making sure he survives in the thick of things. Down here are some consumables. Now, if you don't see anything over here that you like, and you'd like to look at all the items, you can go to all items. And then you got jungle, laning, got your consumables, gold income, things that help you. These are mainly support items, but if you are supporting, then I would suggest pick one up, or just going with whatever in the beginning. Vision and trinkets. These are your trinkets that you have available to you. That becomes available at level 9. Warding totem is placing down wards. I'll explain wards later on. This is Oracle Lens. This helps you find wards and traps. Control ward. A control ward, you can only have one on the map at a time per player. So you place it in a high traffic area. People can see it. People can't see wards. The regular wards, people can see this ward. You got your armor here, health here, health regen, magic resist, so on and so forth. Boots, that's how you move faster. Pick up mobility. And you can just read them. For example, Merc Treads, plus 25 magic resist, so it increases your magic resistance, gives you some movement speed, and reduces crowd control. Crowd control is anything that will disable your character. These boots have different things. Something like Sorcerer's Shoes that has magic penetration, armor penetration, or lethality, I guess. Just basically they go through the resistances that you would build with like Mercury Treads. So like 18 magic penetration will go through 18 of the 25 magic resist you have here. Other movement speed items, this is just random things that aren't boots that increase your movement speed. For example, Trinity Force has plus 5% movement speed, not including the unique passive. Okay, so let me explain the objectives so the game will stop yelling at me for AFK. So I'm going to use this side of the map to explain what these are. Okay, so in the beginning, you'll have turrets. You can see them on the map over here. This is your mini-map. This explains where everything is on the map, just in a very vague image. You'll also be able to see other players on here as well. So you'll have your turret right here. That's the first turret you'll come to. There's one in each lane. You got top lane, is considered top on both sides. Middle lane, bottom lane. There's a turret in between and a turret here. This is an inhibitor. Once you take down an inhibitor, the minions that you see moving here, they will start spawning super minions. And super minions are really strong minions. They take people a pretty good bit of time to kill one. And there's one that goes down the lane of the inhibitor that went down. So if this inhibitor went down, it would only go down bottom lane. You got your 2 towers before your Nexus, and your Nexus, once defeated, right here, you lose the game. Now let's go down to bottom lane. You may be thinking, well, why can't I just destroy towers? Well, towers do a lot of damage. I'll show you here in a second. So even, I have a decent amount of armor on this guy, especially for a low level character. And towers, they hurt. And they do more damage the more they hit you. Whenever this comes up, you can click to expand, see all the information. Orange is physical damage right there, magic damage, and the other one's true damage. That way you can build against whatever you're taking the most damage of. So, however, the turret doesn't target you right off the bat if there's minions there. So we're going to clear up some minions up here, and we are going to show you what happens. Alright, so you see how the turret's attacking the minions? So you can move in there as long as there's a minion up. But as soon as that minion goes down, the turret will attack you. So now you can go in here and you can hit the turret. As long as there's a minion here, it won't hit you. The only exception to this is that if you hit a champion, like another enemy, not a minion, not one of these guys, if you hit another enemy, so champion, then the turret will immediately switch to you. Okay. I just leveled up so I can pick up another thing. So here are bushes. Whenever you're in a bush, as long as there's not a ward in there, so like that, nobody can see you. Unless they have some other vision altering thing. However, if you're in a bush with a ward, I wouldn't be able to see this ward if it was an enemy one. They can see you, plain as day. If there's a ward here, but not in the bush, the ward will not pick up whoever is in the bush. If you're just starting out, you'll be playing against bots, and bots for the most part don't use bushes. So you won't have to worry about this. This is just a little information that I'll go over in a different video about warding and the importance and good places to place wards. Okay, let's go over pings. So you'll see these whenever you're playing. An immediate ping, so just a, is kind of a, hey, something's here. So, you know, you can do it on the minimap. So let's say that you spotted somebody over here. And you just ping and be like, hey, there's somebody there. Now, you press G to do this, and it'll bring up this kind of thing. You can just immediately click it to do that. Or you press G and hold down the left mouse button, and you'll see a little bar, and you can drag it around and do this. Enemy missing. If your laner leaves, a person that you're against leaves the lane, please do a courtesy of being, at least doing that once. If he comes back, don't worry about it. But if he leaves, you know, just one, I'll save you a lot of trouble in the future. Another thing is, if you spot somebody, maybe you know he's going down river, so you can go and just, you know, give kind of a warning that, hey, there was somebody there. If you are on your way, so let's say I was going from bottom lane to middle lane. Maybe I wanted to help him out. You could immediately go, you know, on the way. Get his name and everything. And if you need help with something, maybe somebody is over here and you want to take a tower, you can be like, you know, help with the tower. I don't have anybody else in here, but right above your minimap, you'll see your allies, and it'll have a little picture, and in the picture will be a little green dot, and in that green dot, it'll either be lit or it won't. So when it's lit, your allies have their ultimate ability. Ultimate ability is, for this guy, it's Tremors, so let me go ahead and level up. You only get it at level 6. I think it's 11 and 16. And that's basically what it does for him. It's a strong ability. Okay, so you may be wondering, well, you've been running around in this area a whole lot. What's in this area? So, in this area, down this is called River. Bottom river, top river. You got your scuttle crab here. Whenever you kill this guy, it'll give you vision. So let's go ahead and take him out, and then I'll show you what it does. He's easy to kill, he doesn't fight back. And it's just like having a ward there. Can't kill it, can't do nothing. Okay. So here, we have the dragon. Now this little crab thing, it takes a little bit to respawn, and it'll stay there for a little bit. Here we have dragon. Dragon is important because it'll give you certain buffs. I don't have smite or anything. I'd rather not die to dragon. Here we have honey fruit. Honey fruit will slow you down, but it heals you a little bit and restores some of your mana. Coming this way. We got chickens. This is called red buff. Golems. On the other side. We have wolves. We have blue buff. Gromp. And last but not least, big boy himself, Baron. Now, Baron, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't spawn until 15 minutes after. So, before then it'll be Herald, Rift Herald. And Baron gives you a buff just like Dragon, but his is a bit stronger. Blue buff, here, and here. Red buff, they'll give you buffs. Now, your red buff will be here. The enemies will be here, unless you're on this side of the map. In which case, vice versa. I believe as far as basics go, that's about it. If I missed anything that you'd like to know in part 2, please comment below. Other than that, you know, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And thanks for joining me today.